The reason we went to Whidbey Island Naval Air Station in the first place was to learn firsthand about the A-6 and its mission. That can only come from sitting in the cockpit and flying. But there's no room for passengers in an Intruder. That meant I had to qualify as a crew member.
Post-flight ear block, and that's a result of breathing 100% oxygen.
There are hours of classroom instruction to teach you how to avoid emergencies and how to survive them if you can't. The subjects range from the physical effects of high altitude to parachute handling to ejection procedures.
Both hands wrapped around real good and tight. Eject! Okay.
Much of the training deals with water survival. All students are required to swim 150 yards in full flight gear. That weighs about 40 pounds. Just the beginning of what could be called crash and splash class.
Step onto the seat and lower yourself into the car.
This is the Delbert Dunker. You may have seen it in the movie Officer and a Gentleman. It simulates a sinking plane with the flotation qualities of granite.
The second horn, the car will go down the rail and invert. You have a diver in the water. Any questions?
Can't think of any.
You're on your way.
There are more tests to pass in this aquatic amusement park. How to escape from an airborne parachute when you're in the water.
Good.
Parachute disentanglement. And simulated helicopter rescue. I had passed, but felt like a waterlogged sponge at a car wash. Having exchanged my soggy flight suit for a dry one, I was ready for my flight. The pilot would be Lieutenant Brian Newnaber, a U.S. Naval Academy graduate with 1,200 hours in the A-6. The pre-flight checklist is exhaustively thorough, covering electronics, engines, the hydraulic system. The ground crew is double-checking each item.
That should go from later on, yeah.
Okay, that should be on.
Yeah, we're getting some return, yeah. Why don't you go ahead and,
The big knob?
yeah.
As we taxi into position for takeoff, I recall 2 Whidbey A-6s had crashed within the past year, prompting questions about the attack jet's safety. I had discussed those questions with the squadron commander.
We have a dedicated safety center back in Norfolk that keeps very close tabs on those statistics, and in terms of accidents per 10,000 hours, the A-6 has a better safety record than the A-7, the F-14, and the F-4.
Navy statistics show the A-6 actually has one of the best safety records of carrier-based tactical jets. The Intruder has between 5 and 6 accidents per 10,000 hours of flight time. That compares with 6 for the A-7 Corsair, 7 for the F-14 Tomcat, and 7 to 8 for the F-4 Phantom.
Those wheels get light. We're going to go flying. That's our refusal speed.
The takeoff is amazingly gentle. Within seconds, we were tucked in formation, cruising through the clouds. A-6 pilots don't fly low for mere thrills. They do so to escape detection by enemy radar.
Let's face it, the target most likely is usually a threat to us also. So we want to get in and get out of town.
The Boardman bombing range was now in sight. We descended almost to treetop level and accelerated.
19 mils. Trail, clear dark, on the way.
How'd that one come off?
That was long, though. I aimed long and it went long.
Pulling into climbing turns after each run, the sudden acceleration multiplied our effective body weight 4 times.
How you doing? How you like us?
Oh, great.
Good.
Fantastic.
The A-6 feels solid and stable, even at high speed and low altitude over rough terrain.
We train here in the squadron to be able to do these low levels, low level, high speed, day and night, clouds, no clouds, whatever. And that's where the A-6 can really make its money, because we can do this low level navigation to avoid enemy detection, both in good weather and bad.
The A-6 certainly earned its money on this flight. I was impressed with the responsiveness of the plane, the skill of my pilot, and the hours of careful preparation before the flight. All too soon, we were back on the ground at Whidbey, my flight at its end. Would I do it again? You bet I would. And that's no kidding.
Great thrill.
It was. My personal thanks to photographer Ken Jones, who shot and edited these pieces, his assistant Charlie Ellert, and to everyone at Whidbey who helped us. The list of those people is extensive, as is their dedication and skill.
I was curious as to how fast they're going and how far above the deck they are when they bring that thing in to this 400-foot carrier deck.
They are. I'd have to check the exact figures, but I believe their approach speed is about 150 knots. The aircraft carrier is going about 20 to 25 knots. So they are moving when they move in. If they are a foot too high coming in over the back end of the boat, they'll miss the first wire, or the one they're really aiming at. If they're about 2 feet too high, they can count on going around and trying again.
Yeah, or going off the end.
That's
Jeff,
true.
this is called,
Precision flying.
This is called Top Story tonight. We'll name it Top Gun in your honor.
We were glad to see you come back up out of the water there, Jeff.
I was too.
When we come back, we'll take a last look at some of the pictures taken by an A-6 pilot from inside the cockpit.
Stay with us. You're watching Top Story.
It's no surprise that some of the A-6 pilots like to take their own video pictures from the cockpit, and I think they're spectacular.
They do a really fine job. It's a hobby, a way to pass some time during their long tours of duty on the aircraft carriers. And some of the pilots and bombardier navigators are very good photographers, as is the case with a Lieutenant Dave Sandgren.
We're going to see some of it.
We
Right
are.
now, let me tell you first that Mike James will be back on Monday. He's recovered from his ear surgery. Have a nice weekend.
Good night, everyone.
Good night.